Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do a layout chair. So this is the first one up, and on this one there's quite a bit of embroidery. So I'm just going to point out some of the things I've done. So this first stitch here is a rose and a lazy Susan. I have these ones that were done with a stencil, and it has 3 different colors of green thread that I used. I used this Studio Calico stamp, and I also used these napkin pieces. Next one up is a mixed media mayhem, and so there is a lot of layered pieces on this one. There's a diagonal kind of aspect to it. So I also used a lot of stamping underneath, some splatters. I really liked this fringe piece on the bottom here. It matches her jacket, and I wanted it to mimic kind of the fluffy around her hood here. Then I have lots and lots of chipboard pieces from Hip Kit Club on here. I really liked this frame piece here too. So, sorry if my audio is off. I'm having to redo this because it was cutting out before. So the next one is a Tracy Reed design sketch, and so it was done on a traveler's notebook page, and so I really like the way this one turned out. I have these 2 pictures here. On the sketch it was cut in half and then stitched across, and instead of doing that on mine, I used this second photo and just stitched across the top here. I've got lots of wood veneer on here to add some different textures. There is also some hidden journaling, so this tag pops out. And I really like that one. It was meant for a traveler's notebook page, and I just made it for 12 by 12. The next ones here are from the Scrap Room Jumpstart Challenge, and they had a pretty good grid going on. So I took a piece of paper that already had some grid on it and use that on this one and on the next one, and I also used this blue to match the blue that's in the lake there. So I'm just pointing out the grid pattern and using that paper, and then I used some enamel dots and just sprinkled things all over. I also used these stickers from Simple Story Simple Vintage. And then to get another layout from the same day but with a different feel, you just change the pictures up a little bit and some of your embellishments. So this one, the background matches that truck a little bit more. This is literally the same day. This kid didn't go swimming, so I pulled the blue from the truck, and then I also pulled some different embellishments. Use that same grid paper underneath, and I'm just explaining the color choice there. And then just using a different kind of layout, but using the same papers. And those circle pieces that look like a flare they have an epoxy circle on them, and those middle ones I'm pointing to came from a clear Hip Kit Club piece sticker sheet. And you can see how it looks a lot different, but similar. Like these could go side by side in a scrapbook. They're going to go into different scrapbooks, but it's a quick and easy way to get 2 pages done is to use the same sketch, even some of the same papers, even if you want them to have a very different look and feel. So this next one is also a mixed media mayhem, and so the prompts for this one were stamping, wet media, and torn papers. And so I used stamping all the way across in this really big title. The really big title came from Studio Calico, and then I added some clear stickers to bring in some of this black. I also took this wood veneer butterfly and I pushed it into a black stamp pad to bring the black over onto this side. And then I pulled the colors from the papers from my daughter's eye makeup so that there's some purple and orange everywhere. And also, this is a great way to use a little bit of a branding strip. So this next page isn't a Mixed Media Mayhem one. This was from Kaz Mom. She did a sketch challenge this month. But to get a really great way to do a mixed media background and not having the mess is to use one of those manufactured pages. So on the sketch, there was some layers. The pictures went straight across. Mine are a little wonky. Lots of layers, and then these strip pieces went all the way across on Kaz Mom's and not on mine because mine are a little thicker and I wanted to get a little bit more embellishment on here. So, and I just tied in all of the different spots have the same papers, but some are in different spots and different thicknesses, and it just adds some more interest to this page. These papers were scraps from my previous pages for that grid one. And I also got this flare on here, which was great. This one was supposed to be a Mixed Media Mayhem and it did not record. So I'm going to show you this one because I really, really love this page. And so I did on the scrap lift we did, it had some triangle pieces coming out to mimic the sun. And so I wanted to mimic the watermelon in this one. So I used two pieces of stamping blocking paper, and I just made the triangles out of that. So I didn't use a stencil, and then I used ink and a little bit of water and a paintbrush, and I just filled in those triangle pieces. On the bottom, so that's what I'm showing you, and I wanted that to mimic watermelon. On the bottom here, I did some packaging. I have Simple Stories, Simple Vintage stickers on here, and so that was a lot of fun. I really liked how these triangles worked, and I'm just showing with my hands how I set that up for those two pieces of tape, and I just picked it up and moved it and used it kind of like a stencil. So all of those have that same kind of shape to them. And then all of that is Simple Stories is what I'm looking at. I also wanted to tie that background pages or the border pages into everything else. So the flesh of the watermelon and the seeds. I really like how this one came together. This is off of the same scrap lift for Mixed Media Mayhem. And so this one is recorded, even though the one before didn't record. So this one was great to get some Christmas papers used up. So I really, really enjoyed using this one because it was a great way. So I used some die cuts or manual dies. I got some really old letter stickers on. So these ones have some really great texture to them, which is I'm just showing. And then all of these leaves came from a Hip Kit Club die set, and I manually dyed them out of Christmas paper. So this is all Christmas paper. And the border piece around for the outside matting piece is also Christmas paper. But looking at this, you can't really tell that, well, you can't tell at all that it's actually Christmas paper. I picked it for the colors because I knew the colors were going to match really well with the picture. And so you can't, like, there is mistletoe and Christmas balls and all sorts of things on these pages, and really is not noticeable at all. I also used the Echo Park Sunburst stencil on this one and antique linen for the stamp, and it just tied in all of those colors. Using a different camera today, so I apologize that it keeps trying to autofocus and it's moving in and out. There's not much I can do with that when I'm working on my table in my office, but this one I used this massive piece of paper that had the snow globe on it. And so I have a hard time using these really large elements, so I wanted to really focus on using this. So I cut it out. I distressed the image. It was the whole page to begin with. So I distressed it, I inked it, and then I put it to the side so I can use it as a grounding part on the side. Put my photos in staircase. Also had lots and lots of Hip Kit Club that I added. And those two pieces of paper that I've used were from the same paper pack. This one was a lot of fun to do. This was in my counterfeit kit challenge, and so this was one of the challenges for that Facebook group. They also have a blog, and so they had cascading stuff on a sketch here, cascading stuff on a sketch here. They had the border strips and the 3 blocks of paper. And so this was a page map one, and I tried really hard to match. Anytime I had a pink, I tried to match that orangey color or another color from that bottom piece of paper. And I'm just showing you that that tag will be hidden journaling. It does come right on out. And I just really tried to match a lot of the different places with this orangey color, just to tie it in all sorts of spots, because I really liked that color combination. This one was a really fun one to do. So I did this with my friend's scissors, and I used up a lot of branding strips or leftover cut off pieces, and it gives us really, really neat texture. And so I wanted to mimic the texture on the page with her crazy hair, which she did all on her own at school. Right before she took the picture, she went into the bathroom and messed her hair up. Originally, I had grade 1 on here, and then I realized it was grade 2, so I pulled the 1 off and replaced with the 2, which was awesome that it actually worked. I used some tiny attachers to get it on. I did have a little distressing that happened on this one, but not too bad. And because of all of the texture and colors those papers has, it only needs a title. It doesn't actually need very much more than that, because it's all there already, which is a great way to use texture without having to do much more. This last one is a 6x12, and I do have a companion page that's a 12x12 that goes beside on this side, and then on the back side there is a 6x12 as well. So this is just a quick look at that one. And so I pulled in a lot of the papers that are on that 12x12 and the 6x12 on the other side to make it work really well and be cohesive. So pulling like this green from that paper and just making it work. I don't need any more journaling on here. I just had a couple more pictures, 3 actually, to scrapbook for this kiddo's book. And so that worked out really well. The journaling's on the other page, so like the little bit of embellishments really works well. I really like having a 6x12 in my album here and there, because it does add different dimension to and interest to your albums. So having these different pages in there makes it really quite interesting for anybody who's looking at them. So I really, really liked that here. So that's my layout share for this month. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, I would love if you subscribed. If you give me a thumbs up, that would be great too. There's some other videos here that you might want to watch. And thank you so much for spending your time here today. Have yourself a great day.